Welcome to Methuen Community Television's first Essex State Senate Forum for Democratic Candidates. I'm your moderator for the evening, Michelle Houle. Before we begin, I would like to welcome our audience members and thank the Methuen School Department for their assistance in finding such a great venue. We'd also like to thank the candidates, Kathleen Ives and Jessica Finocchario, for taking the time to join us this evening. Thank you, ladies. MCTV designed this program to give the voters of the district the opportunity to ask questions and hear the unfiltered answers. Hopefully, this will help you, the voter, decide which candidate you should vote for in the September 9th primary election. Both of the Democratic candidates for 1st Essex State Senator will be heard from during this forum. The Republican and Independent candidates will be included in a future forum for the November election. Your responses tonight will be timed. Questions will be answered in either 1 minute or 1 minute and 30 seconds. Candidates, when your time is almost up, you will be signaled by Jim Hayden, who's in the front row here, to wrap up your response with the 10-second sign, and he will then give you a stop sign when you've completed your time. Since we are here to learn about you and your positions on the issues, we will not tolerate any personal attacks tonight. The moderator has discretion to cut off anyone that I feel has crossed the line. We also ask when people come up to ask their questions that everything is directed to both candidates fairly and also that there is no personal attacks during the questions. So now let us begin with the opening statements. You will each have 1 minute to speak directly to the voters. We will begin with the candidate first in alphabetical order, Jessica Finocchario.
Thank you.
You can actually stay seated, Jess.
Oh, sure.
Just stay comfy.
Well,
Nope, just stay right in your seat.
okay, sure. Thank you, Michelle, for moderating this debate, and thank you all for coming for today. My name is Jessica Finocchario, and I was going to try and stand up because I'm standing up to be your next state senator for working families in Massachusetts. I'm standing up because I believe that Merrimack Valley deserves a senator who will represent progressive democratic values, who will side with working families over corporate interests, and who will support vital funding for our communities and our schools. Our district deserves real leadership on these issues, a senator who will deliver, who will be there when it counts, and who will match words with action. I've lived in the Merrimack Valley my entire life. My grandparents came here from Sicily seeking the American dream, and my father was the first in his family to graduate from college. My family members have been in unions for generations, and I started working a few jobs at age 14 to help make ends meet and put myself through college and graduate school. I know firsthand the struggles working families go through every day. I've worked for the Department of Mental Health, Raise Up Massachusetts, and I'm currently vice chair of the Greater Lawrence Technical School Committee. I've been in the trenches to raise the minimum wage, expand quality care from those suffering with mental health issues, and improve adult educational programs. I'm running to be a strong, effective leader who will stand up for you, an accessible leader who you can trust. Thank you.
Thank you. Incumbent Kathleen Ives.
Thank you, Michelle. I'm happy to be with you here tonight to talk about where I stand on the issues that matter to our district. And it's been a very productive first term. We've passed legislation to support our veterans, quicken our economic recovery, expand access to substance abuse treatment, strengthened protections for victims of domestic violence, expanded campaign finance disclosures, create a new opportunity for renewable energy, and we've raised the minimum wage by $1 a year over the next 3 years, so it will be $11 by 2017. I've pushed for effective budget priorities, including increased state funding for our public schools and early education, increased public safety, improved quality of life for our Commonwealth. I'm also working to redefine what it means to be a politician. It's not about attacking others or creating contention. I'm working with 39 senators, 160 representatives, and municipal officials from all over the district, in addition to our federal delegation. I represent 160,000 residents, and I'm focused on communicating, negotiating, and building consensus to be positive and move forward to get things done for our district. Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you both. As we step into the questions, I just want to let you know that we will be offering a little bit of rebuttal time before the break, assuming that there is time allowed by the clock at that point. So you may want to hold that part of any question answers that you have. So our first question will be to Kathleen O'Connor Ives. And the first question is, what committee assignments do you feel best suit your experiences and interests if you are re-elected state senator? Excuse me.
In this most recent term, I was the Senate Chair of Tourism, Arts, and Cultural Development, which I felt fortunate to obtain as a freshman legislator because I know that tourism is a great opportunity for our district from Salisbury all the way to Haverhill and to Methuen to increase tourism dollars. And it's also important for the larger state because it's other people's money. And to be able to increase that type of revenue for not only the Merrimack Valley but the whole state is really critical because we have a lot of social services that have increased demands, whether it's the Department of Children and Families or special education, infrastructure improvements. We need new revenue, and I'd like to see it come from tourism. In the next term ahead, if I'm lucky enough to stay in this position, I currently vice chair the Committee on Small Businesses, and I seek to chair that in the next term because small businesses are critical to our local economy.
Okay, thank you. And I apologize, I was remiss. I did not tell you you had 1 minute, but Jim didn't yell at you, so I guess you were good. Jessica, you have 1 minute for the same question, and if you need the questions repeated at any point, feel free to ask as well.
Thank you. I think that tourism is also very critically important to this community. I would be seeking, you get about 4 or 5 different committee assignments. I would be seeking a committee assignment for the tourism, arts, and cultural development as well if I was senator. I would also be seeking to be on the Committee for Mental Health and Substance Abuse because I think that that's a huge problem for our communities. And I would also seek to be on a Small Business Committee as well as several others. And I would definitely push to be on as many committees as I really could. There's also a special committee in the Senate right now that is working on mental health and substance abuse, and I would want to be part of that as well.
Okay, great, thank you. Our next questions are also 1 minute each. And we'll be starting with you, Jessica. Each of you lives in a town that forms the ends of the 1st Essex District. Let's say that town X has complained to you that their neighbor, the town you live in, is allowing some activity that is affecting the quality of life in their community. What do you, as state senator, do?
I think that it's important, when you're in such an important role, to make sure that you don't let your own personal position of where you live affect any of those decisions. That's sort of a common sense answer. I think that I would need to take what information I know about it and deal with it as judiciously as I would with any other part of the community. I think that that's really important. I think we should focus on is this community needs to realize that it's not the Seacoast area and this side of the district. It's one district, and that's so critically important. And I'm sick of people talking about it as 2 separate areas. It's one area. We all share the Merrimack Valley River in common, and I think it's important to bring those 2 things together.
Great. Kathleen.
It's been my experience that very often issues percolate in the city or town itself, and there are a lot of challenges where residents are trying to solve them at the municipal and state level, whether it's the erosion issue on Salisbury Beach, how to develop waterfront property in Newburyport. In Methuen, we're working hard to get more resources for the athletic facilities in town for the student athletes. And in North Andover, there are some major needs for improvements to the 114 corridor. That's a regional problem. I can think of issues in every single city and town in our district, and they're interconnected because we all live in the Merrimack Valley. But I'm really focused on making sure there's a clear line of communication between me and the officials and the residents in each of these communities to try to troubleshoot. We have our work cut out for us, but we've made great progress. One brief example is in the city of Haverhill, where there have been issues with idling trains at the Bradford station, and that results in increased emissions and some abutters being concerned. That's a big problem that requires different levels of intervention, and we tackle problems like that because it's not really about this town versus that. It's about long-standing issues in every single community that requires progress.